major breaking news coming out of Manhattan right now as we are learning information right now. I want to put up a tweet from our Fox News team from Marta Danis saying that Fox News has learned from two sources that Trump has been indicted by the Manhattan grand jury. Of course, this is major developing news here on Live Now from Fox as we continue to follow it. We do have a live picture outside of, I believe that's Trump Tower in downtown Manhattan. This is a live look right now is what we're keeping an eye on. Of course, this is news that we were waiting on for some 2 weeks, as Trump said he would possibly be indicted a couple Tuesdays ago. It coming down most recently right now. That is the DA's office there in downtown Manhattan. I'm sure we'll get live pictures from Trump Tower, from the DA's office. I want to bring in a legal mind, a defense attorney here, Matt Timpanek, a friend of the program. Of course, Matt, we appreciate you joining us on very quick notice here with this latest development. Just give me a breakdown. What does it mean to have a grand jury indict someone, and what does it mean for them to indict a former president?
So to be able to indict someone, the grand jury would need to be given evidence that there is enough for the case to move forward. We're not to beyond a reasonable doubt. It's just probable cause that there is sufficient evidence to charge former President Trump with a crime. It hasn't been revealed yet what exactly it is, but the expectation it will be a felony. And if I were to guess, I think it's going to be falsifying business records. I think throughout the process, talk about the alleged hush payments to Stormy Daniels and what has been reported. I think that's what that would be the charge. I don't see much more else unless there are other facts that we have not been privy to at this time.
Definitely, and it is certainly major news coming out, and secrecy is kind of what we've talked about with a grand jury, that we don't know a ton of information from the grand jury, and obviously Trump sending out on social media that he expected to be indicted. How much hush-hush is it? And obviously this coming at a moment that a lot of people didn't expect, because a lot of people thought it was going to be pushed until mid-April, now coming down right now. Maybe talk a little bit about the secrecy of a grand jury and how they go about business.
Well, usually grand jury proceedings are secret by design, because you don't, obviously, if somebody's being investigated and they're not charged, you don't want all the publicity of, all right, they're being investigated for a major serious crime and then they don't get indicted. Based on what is being reported, he has been indicted. And a part of me thought when I heard, oh, they were going to take a break and it's not going to be for another month, I definitely think that was to throw the kind of the press off the trail and kind of allow them to finish the proceedings, because this is going to be a hot button issue. It's going to be the news story on every news outlet, 6 o'clock in the A block throughout the world tonight. So yeah, that's definitely something you wanted to make sure that you had cold and was actually done before you allowed it to leak.
It is certainly very interesting, because obviously the first president ever indicted here, potentially, as we could see him arrested. We heard that on social media. Of course, the indictments, you mentioned maybe not beyond a reasonable doubt. When a criminal case moves forward, that they have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. Give me a little bit more background on that. Just maybe how much information do they need, and what is the reasonable doubt in this case?
So to a grand juries can hear things that trial juries cannot. Grand juries can hear hearsay. Hearsay is usually inadmissible in court. It's evidence that is offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Usually somebody said something to somebody else, or some kind of document that's not authenticated. A grand jury can hear that. A trial jury not necessarily would hear it. It could be suppressed or eliminated out. So what a grand jury can hear and what a trial jury can hear aren't always the same thing.
It is a very, very interesting, and I know as we continue to get the ball rolling, there's going to be a lot of questions about what's going forward and what to have. But how quickly can an arraignment happen? How quickly can something like this happen, especially with such high profiles? That takes some time. How much timeline do you foresee here?
I definitely think, well, it's obviously come out, but they haven't unsealed the indictment yet, so it's not officially, but based on what is being reported throughout the country, it's happening. But it could be about when the former president wants to surrender. I don't think you're going to see him being taken away in handcuffs, but what I definitely see is he might choose to be arraigned tomorrow when less people are watching. But at most, I would say within the next week, I think President Trump will be formally arraigned as a result of the indictment.
Yeah, that will be something certainly to watch. Will it have to be in Florida? Will they kind of move him up to New York? How does that work as well?
Well, he has to go to New York because he's going to have to be fingerprinted. He's going to be booked like any other defendant. I definitely think that the Secret Service is going to have to talk with the local law enforcement to detail his surrender, because there's no precedent for this. No former president that I can remember in modern history has ever been indicted for anything. And be able to do this is going to be a logistical nightmare. But if you're thinking he's going to get some kind of preferential treatment, he's appearing via Zoom, that's not going to happen. He's going to have a prearranged bail. He's going to walk in to get fingerprinted, photographed, and then he's going to walk out a few hours later with probably a low monetary bond, if not supervised release. They might force him to turn over his passport. They're going to argue he's not really a flight risk. It's not like he can go anywhere in the world where he wouldn't be recognized. So I definitely think that there's not going to be any preferential treatment, and he's definitely going to have to go to New York to answer for these.
All right. Thank you, Matt Timpanek here, a criminal defense attorney. We appreciate you joining us here on very, very short notice. Obviously, a story that a lot of people are going to be following. So we appreciate your time, and we're going to continue to cover this major story. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.